What's up? Alright, I'll wait for you to... Alright. What's up, guys? My name is Pat Crinan, the Weekenders music critic.
I'm Toni Pinello.
And she doesn't have a title, but we're coming at you again with another episode of New Music Monday, in which we talk about some of the best new releases and some of the not so good new releases that came out over the past week. It's summertime, and that usually means we get a lot of hip-hop releases. You know, there's not as many, at least this is what it seems like to me, there's not normally as many big, like, rock or anything else releases, because, like, hip-hop is pop right now. So,
yeah.
So it's what we're stuck with.
People want to dance.
Right.
It's summertime.
So this week we're going to talk about 3 new hip-hop releases. First off, we're going to start off with a new Future mixtape called Beast Mode.
Beast Mode 2.
Beast Mode 2, I'm sorry.
There was a Beast Mode.
There already
and
was
then
a
there
Beast
was
Mode.
Beast Mode 2.
And now we have another one.
And I feel like it's 2008.
Yeah.
Because who says that?
Yeah, it's...
I hate it.
And, like, the original Beast Mode came out in 2015.
Okay, that's not better, actually.
No, it's not. So this one, it released by surprise. And it actually came out on what would have been Future and his ex's anniversary, which is very funny. A lot of people think that he did it on purpose for some reason. I don't really get what dig he might have been trying to make there, but it's Future. You know, if you like Future, you're gonna like this. If you don't, you won't, because he just does what he always does. You know?
I feel like the vibe of the whole record is just kind of stagnant. Like, nothing really jumped out at me. And I don't really know anything about Future. The only thing I know about Future is that Move That Dope is the best song ever written.
Yeah.
Other than that, I know nothing about Future.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing about him. Like, all of his music is so, like, I don't want to say drugged out, but that's the phrase that I'm going to use.
I feel what you're saying, though.
You know, because, like, he always sings about, you know, popping Xanax and drinking lean and whatnot. So it's like, and that really comes across in his music, that it's just sleepy and laid back, and there's never really, there's never really anything that's a highlight, but...
Yeah, there wasn't anything on the whole thing. Granted, I only listened through it once,
yeah.
So I was bored.
No, I get that.
See, like, I'm a weird person to ask about hip-hop.
Right.
Like, when it first comes out especially, because I don't know why, but I never pay attention to lyrics. That's never, like...
No, I get that.
Ever.
And
like,
hip-hop is...
And it's, like, that's most of it, yeah.
Right.
And I'm just, like, a super casual hip-hop listener, so I'm not over here,
right.
like, this is Future's best verse. Like, I have no idea. I just... Everything is based off of the instrumentals.
I get what you're saying, but, like, no verse of Future is his best verse.
Yeah, maybe that was a bad example.
Future has been riding off the coattails of releasing the same song for 5 years, so...
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Based on what I heard in Beast Mode 2.
Right.
Again, worst name ever. I'm sorry that I'm just, like... I just didn't like it.
No,
I
think that's totally reasonable.
It didn't make me... The only time that, like, that hip-hop really makes me excited is when it makes me want to break stuff, and when it makes me want to dance.
Yeah.
And that didn't do either.
In this one, it just makes you want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we're gonna talk about the new Meek Mill album, or Meek EP, actually.
Yeah, it's more like an EP.
Yeah. Now, the thing about this one is these songs, hold on, what's the name of this record? It's called Legends of the Summer. It's a 4-song EP. And it wasn't supposed to exist. Meek was actually, he just posted on Twitter or Instagram today saying that these songs were actually supposed to be saved for an album, and then they leaked. So he's trying to make some money off of them before.
I mean, that's the move.
Right, so I get it. And because of that, this thing sort of feels a little underdone to me, I think.
Okay.
I love that first song, though.
Okay, can we talk about the features?
Yes.
Because
we can definitely talk about the features.
Beats.
Swizz.
I haven't heard about him since that one Jay-Z song.
Right.
That doesn't exist anymore. You know that song? On to the next one? You can't listen to that song anywhere.
Unless you're on Tidal.
That's what it is. It's the title thing.
Right.
I missed that song, and then Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Jeremiah shows up.
Jeremiah and P&B Rock. Yeah.
It was so good.
Right. So that first song with Swizz Beatz, it's called Philadelphia. I think it's so cool because
I really
like
liked
it's
it.
it's just like triumphant, you know. It's the first thing that Meek has put out since he got out of prison earlier this year. On I'm gonna say it's some totally trumped up charges, like you can look into the whole history of Meek Mill's battle to get out of jail, but he firmly did not deserve to be there. And this thing, like, it just feels like he's like, I'm back. I'm here to kick some
that was
ass. You know, like
definitely
it's really great. But you like the whole thing?
Yeah, I really did. I was dancing. Like, again, it made me want to dance. So I liked it.
I liked it a lot. I wasn't as big into that song with Jeremiah.
Really?
Dangerous.
Oh, I really liked that one.
Yeah,
I did.
like-
I listened to this one like 3 times in a row. Too.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
was just like, you know.
I like Meek when he's like going hard.
Okay,
You know what
see,
I
I
mean?
don't know anything about Meek Mill except that he had beef with Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he lost that beef.
Yeah,
even
but I
though he
feel
shouldn't
like
have.
this is his redemption.
Right,
Because
right.
Drake just
So-
put out that other record,
and
and-
it's so bad.
and it's so bad, and then Meek Mill comes through.
Right. So
Maybe he's the winner after all.
And like I've never been the biggest fan of Meek Mill, but this thing has me sort of excited to see what he does from here, because he's super lyrical. He goes hard. It's great.
So he does have a best verse.
Yes.
What
yes.
is it?
Well, I think it's on Philadelphia. You
Yeah.
know, like he just sounds so cool. He's so sure of himself.
Yeah.
And I forget, but like the chorus is great. It's like, who in the streets, Meek? Like it's so cool. It's such a cool
It
song.
was really good.
And unless you have anything else to say about
I just remembered something about the Future record.
the Future record, well, we could backtrack a little bit.
Why did he put the same sample at the beginning of every song?
Oh, the
What
where it
is-
says
what is-
Zaytoven, or who was it? I think Zaytoven.
Play it.
Can we do that legally?
Copyright.
Um,
I want to hear because what is he even saying?
just
Beep.
Zaytoven. Okay. Yeah. So.
What is that?
No. So that everything was produced by Zaytoven.
So it's at the beginning of every song.
That's a thing that hip hop producers are really leaning into.
Tell them to
these days.
stop.
Yeah, because like
What?
yeah, it's a whole thing. Like they all have their producer tags that they
Yeah,
use.
I'm like, that's cool. Like, I know that that's a thing, but I feel like
That one's annoying.
that one,
Yeah,
it's
'cause
just
it's
an annoying. They tell me. It's just annoying.
Like I really like the one that Mike Will Made It uses.
Mike Will.
Yeah, because it's just
that's
Miley
that one's
Cyrus
cool.
saying like Mike Will. I like that one.
I didn't know that was Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. But that one is just lame.
They tell me.
But I really like Zay's production. You know,
Yeah, that was a cool thing about it.
yeah, I like the beats that he makes for Future. I just don't like Future on them.
Yeah, we're back on Future.
Right.
I'm just gonna keep getting back.
Because it's
Back to
twice
the
as
future.
long. Back to the. There it is. Okay.
I'm so sorry. What's next?
Next is the one that I actually think was the best from this list. God Level, which is the first and for the foreseeable future last album by O3 Greedo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw any of the stories going into this.
Was it the whole record?
Yeah.
I only heard the one song.
Okay, so
I thought that there was only one song.
No. So Greedo just put out this 90-minute opus. Yeah.
I listened to it on Spotify, so maybe it didn't.
Right, because he released another single, so
Yeah.
that was what came up
Okay.
first for you. But
I liked it.
yeah. So he just put out this 90-minute long album, and he's going to jail for 20 years.
What
Because
did he do?
well, he got busted for possession with intent to deliver.
Okay.
Because he was driving around with 3 pounds of methamphetamine.
That's like another level of drug.
Yeah, like that's you should never have any amount of meth, but 3 pounds is a stupid
Come
amount.
on, Greedo.
Like, yeah, so like I was saying, don't do Xan, don't sell meth.
Don't do Xanax, don't sell meth.
Don't
Especially
do meth
not 3
either.
pounds.
Yeah.
Or do meth, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's a bad one, for sure.
He also got hit with the charge of possession with a firearm as a felon. So he was originally facing 300 years in prison.
I don't think you can do that.
No,
physically.
no. So, but he did like a plea deal,
Okay.
He pled guilty to all the charges against him, and he was only sentenced to 20 years. Could be out in 5 with good behavior. But like, it's kind of a sad story because like this happened in 2016.
Okay.
And
a little
like,
bit ago.
yeah, and he's sort of been working to turn his life around, it seems. And that's very much like what the lyrics of this record are about.
See, I only heard "She a Freak on the Low."
Yeah.
Don't think that's what that song's about.
Well, no.
Go on.
So Greedo is super cool because he's like, it's trap music, but he's super creative with it. He reminds me a lot of. Have you ever listened to Young Thug?
No.
Okay, well,
I know of Young Thug.
Right.
Casual hip hop listener.
Yes, Young Thug is known for very like over the top sort of not harmonies, but melodies that are just super weird. Elton John has called him a genius for his melodies.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh,
when
totally.
Elton John calls you a genius, that means you are a genius.
You've made it.
Yeah.
And Greedo does the same sort of stuff in a really interesting way. And he's just it's kind of sad because like in the second song he says something like this is the last episode, this is the season finale. Like he knows that this is the last thing he's going to be putting out. Right, it's the last thing he's putting out for the next 5 to 20 years. And this was like the first year that he blew up. So he was tweeting like, I never thought I would have to retire in the first year that I made it.
And you know, this is a situation where I feel like a 90-minute record makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, totally do that.
Right.
When you're Drake, what was that one? That one was longer.
That was 90 minutes.
Okay,
also.
it was also 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Drake is not allowed to do that.
Right. Greedo's was like 98 minutes or something
yeah,
like that.
that's fine. He's going to jail.
Yeah, he had really interesting things to say, and also he's not getting another chance to put that music out. So I don't know. I think it's worth listening to. There's some really emotional tracks on it. There's some bangers. You know, stuff to twerk to.
I was telling Pat earlier that song made me want to twerk, which means I like it.
Right. So
I don't know how. I'll learn for that song.
Right.
Honestly.
But no, it's definitely a great record to put out, and like the album cover is actually like a reference to an old Tupac album, and there's not a lot of people that I would say can get away with, you know, putting themselves on the same level as Tupac, but like this record is so good that I'm gonna let him have it.
Bold.
I'm letting him have
bold.
it. Yeah, and I know that's a bold thing to say, but we're gonna do it. Do you have anything else that you want to say about?
I only heard that
the
song.
one song.
And all I wanted to do was post a selfie on Instagram and make the caption, "She a freak on the low." That's what I have to say about that.
Well, I think it's a good thing to say about a record, you know?
So if you're only going to listen to one song on that record, even though I haven't listened to any of the other ones,
right? Listen
to that one. It's called "She a Freak on the Low," right?
Yeah, well, I don't even know if that song is actually on the main record. Yeah. But like, he's got a bunch of stuff that he's just laying around, you know?
We'll listen to that song.
Yeah. So, Greedo...
Send us your twerk videos.
Yes! Yeah, Greedo, he starts his prison sentence sometime this summer actually. So, this is gonna be the last thing that we hear from him for a while, but if this is the only album that we get from him, I think it's a solid artistic statement. So I think that does it for this week. Next week we'll be back with 3 more albums. If there's any stuff that you want us to check out, to talk about, mention it in the comments below.
Don't send us your twerk videos.
Send us your twerk videos.